Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Shoe Snob unboxing video, One Take Wonders. I have a brand that many of you have been waiting for. They've created a huge buzz on the shoeosphere, the Instagramdom, the shoe industry, should I say, and rightfully so, as in picture, they were making some of the most beautiful shoes you'll find in 2020. And surprisingly enough, out of a country most people wouldn't expect. So I'll cut right into it because this might be a long video. I'm gonna blend some topics that I have with regards to shoemaking, quality, and location of where those two things come from, with new ideas on the world today and the shoemaking industry. So here we go. Acme Shoemaker. Many of you have been seeing this brand. They've grown quite successfully on Instagram over the last few months. I think it was literally just in April, early April, late March, when I've been sitting on my couch for a long time, that I discovered them back when they had 2 pictures on Instagram. And now they've blown up, and in that time period have made some of the most beautiful shoes that I've seen on the web today. Back when I posted them, they were kind enough to send me a pair, offer to send me a pair, which I thought would be great for showing the world what can be done when passion exists, and that trumps ideas of I don't know how to put what I'm trying to say. Basically is, let's just cut to the chase. In the past, things made out of China have always had the connotation of them being cheap, although that's where we get most of our cell phones, computers, and a lot of things we use on a daily basis that are actually quite technological and advanced. But as far as clothing and apparel goes, have always been regarded with this negative light. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's no longer the case. And it's no longer the case not only for shoes, but for clothes, for made-to-measure suits and whatnot. Of which I do have some made-to-measure / bespoke style suits made out of China, which are good. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had a full bespoke one, think Savile Row style, but it wouldn't surprise me if they started coming out of woodworks with great stuff from that side of the menswear sphere as well. But anyway, let's take a look at these shoes. Let's talk about shoes made in China, and let's just talk about these shoes in general. I know you guys are excited to see this and hear my opinion on them, so here we go. First and foremost, box is spectacular. It's got a very cool design here with the shape of the lid. The box is extremely sturdy. I don't actually even know what this material is, but it's I don't know, it's got like a plasticky like feel for extra protection and durability. It's not your basic kind of wood cardboard style box that in reality can oftentimes be flimsy and easy to damage. This is quite robust, and I'm sure it could take quite a beating and still maintain its integrity. The only boxes I've seen kind of more sturdy than this are the wood ones by Stefano Bemmer, that are literally like a crate that you put wine in, and they made shoes. They made it as a shoe box, which are pretty impressive, but damn, they weigh a ton. So anyway, let's take a look. They got a cool little logo, cool little design there of a shoe and their name. Let's take a look. The model that impressed me the most when I first discovered them, I actually posted on Instagram way back when, and it was an apron toe derby in suede, in a teal suede with a natural sole. It was mind blowing. And that was the shoe that I had posted that prompted them to ask me if I wanted, prompted them to tell me they'd like to send me a pair, which is very kind of them. And at the same time, kind of started this, me looking more into them and trying to understand a little bit more about them and this new wave of Chinese shoemakers coming out of the woodworks. And since then, I've been thoroughly impressed. I asked for the teal shoe, but they didn't have any more of the teal leather, which is understandable because it's the same teal leather that I use in my own brand, and I know it's hard to come by. It's not so mass produced, so to speak. So I went with another beautiful shade, and that's Polo Suede, still with the lighter sole for nice contrast. The bags are nice. They are made of tweed, a nice thick tweed, so that means they're going to be protected inside, which is good because I think all of their shoes come with lasted shoe trees, which makes them a little bit on the heavier side. So when you're rolling around in there, you don't want the shoes to bang each other. So you got the two bags. You got some I always forget English, some bubble wrap. You got another separate cloth here just to protect, and another bubble wrap. So they're nice and well protected on the inside. There are no other kind of accessories or anything like that, but not everybody gives that. Oh, I didn't notice the insignia before, so I guess the model is, I don't know, there's a number 200, 270, 200, and then 279, which I have no idea because it looks like the model is 8008 split toe derby Polo Janus. Last would be N83 in a size UK 6.5. So here are the shoes. Here's the shape. My first impressions was thoroughly pleased. Oh, all right, let's get into it. Acme Shoemaker is based out of Beijing. These shoes are completely handmade. Obviously, the fine stitching on the upper is done by machine. The apron is done by hand. The shoes are hand welted, hand lasted, and the soles are hand stitched. So that's pretty much on par with a bespoke shoe. But the price for made to order is $14.50, and that's US dollars. And that comes with a set of lasted shoe trees. I'm pretty sure you could probably pick the color of these. I didn't choose anything, but these are a nice, very dark kind of purple. Very nice trees. Lightweight, you can see them hollow all the way around. So lightweight wood shoe trees. Now for the hand braided, that's a surcharge of $150. So $1,600 for this hand braided derby, or $14.50 as the starting price for your typical made to order Oxford. Now that's a lot of money, for sure. The average person can't afford that. But when you compare that to some of the ready to wear makers out there that charge $1,500 and up for a machine made shoe, not hand welted, not hand lasted, not hand stitched, that's impressive. It's very impressive. Not only that, but you have brands out there charging $1,500, $2,000 on just very generic shape last. You don't really see the shape and the contours of the last in the foot, but this has incredible shape, incredible detailing shape. The last is very curved, contoured. You've got the nice outer shape here. You have a low profile there. You have not a huge instep, contrary to some of the higher end Italian makers that have very high insteps and give a completely different look. This is a much more kind of shallow shoe. I don't know if that's going to be good for everybody. It's certainly good for me as I have a shallow foot, but that shallow look for me is far more, I don't know, appealing and elegant. It reminds me of the shoes back in the Victorian times. I had a very large mouth with a very small face in, and shorter toes. You see them back in the day with these smaller caps, smaller vamps with a bigger opening. It's a little bit, I don't know how to put it, it's a little bit more dandy-like. I wouldn't say this is dandy, but it's very refined with this kind of smaller profile cut. So yeah, impressive. Little details that you notice, you feel them as well when you try them, but that you notice when you've been around a lot of shoes and you compare left you compare one to the next. So let's just take a look at what we got here as far as QC goes. So you can see a nice pitched heel. I cannot confirm. Actually, it looks, I can see it now. This does look like a stacked heel. So that's leather piece by leather piece, as opposed to, it's tough to say, as opposed to like a heel block that you add. I know they have some leather pieces at the top that were definitely added, but I can't say if below that was a stacked, not a stacked, a heel block piece that was added. It wouldn't surprise me, because to be honest, when you're charging as little as this for this type of quality, you gotta be able to also be efficient. Nonetheless, the heel is impressive work. Perfectly smooth, beautiful shaped, not too overly exaggerated in its pitched shape, which I prefer. I really, some of these Japanese shoemakers who make beautiful shoes, but they look like Cuban heels, I can't, it's not my vibe. I feel like it's turning the shoe into something else. Anyway, beveled waists are nice, you know, of course I've seen cleaner, but if the ones that I've seen that are cleaner cost double to triple the price. So again, you always when you're judging something, you always have to be aware of what you're paying for. So you can't compare a $1,500 shoe to a $3,500 shoe. You can certainly judge the quality versus the quality, but then you have to ask yourself, are you willing to pay $2,000 more for maybe a razor like cut that the Japanese are flawless with on the shape of the waist? Or and there's nothing wrong, but you can kind of see where they opened up the channel here and they glued it back together. You see this more because they didn't stain the sole. If that was all black, they'd be able to hide that better. So it doesn't take away from anything. It means nothing, but this is what somebody who's judging the shoes to the nth degree is going to look at when they think that they are going to find something that means anything. But to me, this doesn't mean anything. Man, it just really is impressive. Sorry. I looked at these, no doubt, when I first received them, but I haven't taken the time to actually study them the way I'm doing right now with all of you live on the scene with no editing here. So the more that I look at them, the more that I'm impressed. Really, I'm impressed with the shape and the straightness of the forefoot, and the line from the heel to that forefoot is just phenomenal. This is what I really like to look at in fine shoes. You don't have any of that horrible toe spring. It's got a nice, it's got a tiny bit that you need for walking comfortably, but you don't have any of that, sloped up toe spring, which I just find absolutely horrendous. One thing to note, and most people won't get this because they've actually they've never done it, is you'll see the little lines on the suede here on the apron. People that aren't in the know, who have never sewn an apron by hand before, might think that this is a defect, but it's not, because it's dang near impossible to not get those markings when you are sewing onto the apron here, because I see these are actually two pieces put together, but normally this is one piece, and if you sew it on the last and you're jamming that all into the hole to push through to the other side, inevitably you are putting pressure on the leather, the suede, whatever, with a metal object, and those metal objects leave lasting marks. It's just the nature of this feature. And some leathers hide it better. Some people do this process not on the last. So if you don't do it on the last, then you have a better chance of not having it. If you do it on the last, because there's the last right underneath it, and you have this metal hook you have to press in, and obviously you're not going to press into the last, so you're pressing into the leather, and it leaves these marks. That's completely understandable. Over time, you won't even notice it as your shoes get rained on or whatever. but it's there. And it's something to not be shocked if you see it and you get it. So anyway, I didn't even realize before, but this is actually a reverse split toe. I can feel it. I thought I saw something, so I touched it, and I can feel the reverse split under there. You don't actually notice it because it's suede. Obviously, the suede with a long nap doesn't show you that line as a leather would. So it's very subtle, but it's there. Again, the shoes are just beautiful. I mean, this shape here is phenomenal. This last, it's hard, I don't know if you can see it in the phone, but this shape on the outer forefoot is just beautiful. Razor-like. So, I've seen a lot of shoes in my time. I've never seen ready-to-wear shoes as good as this. Ready-to-wear, made-to-order, whatever. Shoes that were non-bespoke. I've never seen any as good as this. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I love G&G shoes. Gaziano and Guerlain are my favorite in the world. But even Tony and Dean would be impressed by these beauties, because in all reality, they are really setting the bar for quality and price. It's amazing. It's amazing because things are different. I know in China, I know the wages are not the same. Maybe the cost of living is slightly different. There's differences. The leather quality is what everybody else pays. So when leather quality remains the same, that means something else is giving. The other thing that's giving is always the cost of labor, because really in a shoe, it's cost of materials, cost of labor. So if materials stay the same, what changes is the cost of labor. So the more details put in the shoe, the more labor is used. The lower that labor is, the better price you can give at the end of the day, because I know how expensive this suede is. It's ridiculously expensive. They're more than likely using oak bark soles. I didn't actually confirm that, but I would be surprised if they weren't, to be honest. So I imagine the soles are not cheap either. Sorry, I haven't showed you the sole so long, but it's beautiful. I love the simplicity of it. The black base around. I'm not super crazy about super sharp fiddleback waist. I like a nice little round hump, which is what they put on it. I mean, it's definitely there. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see how like big it is, but I think it's elegant. I think it's subtle. The waist is really tight, but not excessively tight. It's beautiful. So I don't know how long you have been following me for, but something that I had always advocated and talked about was the misconception that beautiful, well-made shoes are only made here, here, and here. Because let's be honest, that's bullshit. Traditionally speaking, they came from places like Europe. Japan was kind of an anomaly. Outside of Europe, even America used to make great shoes back in the day. More factory style, less kind of bespoke makers. But there was this grand misconception that flawless shoes couldn't be made elsewhere. You couldn't have one in India or China or Malaysia or Argentina or Mexico or here, there, there. And all of that is now garbage, because in reality, as long as you have access to the materials that are good quality, the rest of the shoemaking process is just about passion. It's about skill and determination to make the best possible product you can. And all that takes is repetition and self-belief. It doesn't take being Italian or French or English or Japanese. Of course, some of these people in their culture, they do things to a different standard and agree, because that's long time in their way of thinking. The Japanese, when they decide to be the best at a product, they make sure they are. And of course, but that doesn't mean that an individual can't have as much passion as them just because it's more in tune with their culture. You could have a young kid out of China go study in Japan, say, I want to be like that, and then go do it, because We can do anything we put our minds to. And for me, Acme Shoemaker is proving that. They are proving that it doesn't matter where you come from. All that matters is ability to gain the best materials and passion and desire to create the best product and working towards that until you get there. And that's what they've done. It's gonna be tough for their competitors because really, there's no shoe better than this at $1,450. $1,450. There's no shoe in the world better than that right there. I will say it. I will stand by it. Even though some of my friends who own shoemaking companies that are my dear friends won't like that I say it, I gotta be honest to all of you. At $1,450, even with the $150 upcharge for the apron, there is no shoe better than that I've ever seen in my entire life. So, yeah, get Acme on your radar. Save up your bucks if you really want the best bang for your buck at the highest quality and level of shoemaking possible. On a fitting note, I ordered a standard 6.5. I gave them my comparisons and some other makers, and I got back a very wonderfully fitting shoe. Very hugging in the heel. Like I said, shallow in the vamp, which is great for me because I actually have a shallow foot and I have a somewhat low instep. I do have a bone on my instep from playing soccer, football my whole life. So, but because they're suede, it's soft. Sometimes I have troubles with derbies right around here, but I didn't get that. They fit really well, very well. I'd be surprised to see how even better, bespoke could fit. Actually, I'm not even sure they do bespoke, but for a stock shoe, fit wonderfully. Again, they have a ready-to-wear line as well at $1,280, and I'm pretty sure the ready-to-wear is made to that same caliber. This is made to order simply because I was able to choose my my specs. So you pay what, $1,280 less $150, $170 more for made to order, so it's not bad at this price point. And yeah, well, if ready to wear is $1,280, imagine that. That's even more cheaper than $1,450, which is just incredible that it's that low. I mean, I know brands at $1,000, you can't even compare, not even close to these. So anyway, Acme Shoemaker. Stay tuned for a more detailed post with close-up photography, highlighting all the things I talk about. It's impressive to say the least, what these guys are doing. It's a new day, I'll tell you that. It's a new day in shoemaking where somebody like me can tell you best ready-to-wear shoes, made-to-order shoes for the price is coming out of China. Believe that. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. They're nice people. You can reach them on Instagram. That's kind of how I got in contact with them. They're, yeah. I'm shocked. I'm shocked at the level of quality and making that they've done here, and I'm almost excited for them because I think passion deserves reward. I think when you strive to create something and that you care about, you deserve to be recognized and be seen, and it's important that we help spread that. So anyway, Acme Shoemaker, thanks as always for watching the videos, reading the blog. Please do share, please do like, please do subscribe. The more you help me, the more we can spread good makers of the world, because ultimately that is my goal, is to see everybody wearing better shoes and to reward passion where passion is put. So have a great day, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Talk soon.